There was once a miller who was very poor, but he had a beautiful daughter. Now it once happened that he had occasion to speak to the king, and in order to make himself appear more important, he said, "I have a daughter who can spin gold out of straw." The king was amazed and said, "That is certainly a wonderful art. If your daughter is that skillful, bring her to my castle tomorrow, and I will test her ability." So when the girl was brought to the castle, the king led her to a room which was full of straw, gave her a spinning wheel, and said, "Now, get to work. And if between tonight and tomorrow at dawn you have not spun this straw into gold, you must die." Then he locked the door of the room and left her alone. There sat the poor miller's daughter, who didn't have the slightest idea how to spin straw into gold, and was so sad she began to weep. Then suddenly the door burst open, and in jumped a little man who said, "Good evening, little lady. Why are you crying?" "Alas," answered the girl, "I've got to spin gold out of straw, and I don't know how to do it." Then slyly the little man said, "What will you give me if I spin it for you?" My necklace," answered the girl. The little man took the necklace, sat down before the spinning wheel, and started to work. By morning all the straw was gone, and in its place were piles of gleaming gold. Immediately at sunrise the king came, and when he saw the gold he was astonished and very pleased, but also very greedy. So he again filled the room with straw, and ordered the miller's daughter to spin it into gold if she valued her life. Alone again, the girl began to cry. And once again the door burst open, and the little man appeared and said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you this time?" "The ring off my finger," answered the girl. The little man took the ring, began to spin again, and by morning the floor was again covered with gold. The king was delighted with all the gold, but was still not satisfied. So he filled the room with an even bigger amount of straw and said, "You must spin this into gold tonight, but if you succeed, you shall become my queen." When the girl was alone, the little man came again and said for the third time, "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you this time?" "I have nothing more to give," answered the girl. "Well, promise me your first child if you become queen." Who knows what may happen, thought the miller's daughter, but she didn't see how she had any choice, so she agreed. When the king came in the morning and found all the gold, he had the marriage performed, and the miller's daughter became queen. About a year later, a beautiful child was born, and by now the queen had forgotten about the little man. But suddenly he appeared in her room and said, "Now give me what you promised." The queen was terrified and offered the little man all the wealth of the kingdom if he would just let her keep the child. But the little man refused. The queen began to moan and weep so much that the little man felt sorry for her. "I will give you 3 days," he said, "and if you discover my name within that time, you shall keep the child." So during the night the queen wrote down all the names she had ever heard and sent a messenger out to discover more. When the little man appeared the next day, she began with Casper, Andre, Melchior, and mentioned all the names that she knew. "No, no, no, that's not my name." The second day she asked around the neighborhood for names of people living there and suggested to the little man most unusual names. "Perhaps your name is Cowribs, or Spindle Shanks, or Spider Legs." But again he answered, "No, no, that's not my name." On the third day the messenger came back and said, "I haven't been able to find any new names, but as I came around the corner of some woods on the high mountain, I saw a little house, and in front of the house a fire was burning, and around the fire a most ridiculous little man leaping. He was hopping on one leg and chanting, 'Today I brew, tomorrow I bake, and then the queen's child I will take, for no one knows my little game, that Rumplestiltskin is my name.'" You can imagine how delighted the queen was when she heard the name, And soon the little man came in and asked, "Now, your majesty, what is my name?" At first she asked, "Is your name Tom?" "No." "Is it Dick?" "No." "Is it, by chance, Rumplestiltskin?" "Somebody told you! Somebody told you!" shrieked the little man. And in his rage he stamped his right foot so hard that he sank right into the ground and disappeared, and no one ever saw him again.